this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. It is with regret that we receive the news that the controversial YouTuber and relationship guru Kevin Samuels has passed away, and it has sent a ripple effect through the social media world, black social media. I think that more than a few of us are surprised at how many black women are reacting to this news. Some of them outright rejoicing and showing no remorse or any kind of sympathy for him, maybe his family, but not for him. And that does speak to their perception of the seeds that he planted during his lifetime. There were others who took a different approach. They did not agree with his message, but they showed compassion for his passing because there's a family involved and there's a black community involved. And we do try to show, most of the time, we do try to show some degree of decorum when things like this happen. I do believe that many black women were hurt by the things that he said, by his assessment of black women, and also trying to weaponize other races of women against black women. I think that black women were very hurt by this. If I were a young woman in the dating market or just building my life, I know that I would have been hurt by some of the things that he said. But I believe that this is an opportunity for black women to reset and recalibrate and realize that when somebody's giving out this kind of energy and you consider it negative energy, it's time to walk away. This is one of those things that you can just walk away. There's a learning opportunity here. Every time somebody of this magnitude who has had this much impact on the lives of so many people passes away suddenly, there's a learning opportunity, especially to reflect on the impact of that individual. There is a lesson here, and each person who was influenced or impacted by his message, whether for good or for bad, has to discover what the lesson is for them. There are rules of engagement in living in this world. I don't care who you are, and nobody escapes them. A lot of black women, many of them celebrating his demise, perceived his message as being mean-spirited and demeaning to black women. This is your time to reset. So I think this is a time now for black women to say, okay, I didn't like this guy, I didn't like his message, and I'm going to reset. I'm not going to lean into negative energy and let it corrupt my soul. It's okay for a black woman to say to a black man, that might be your truth, but that's not my truth. There are black men out here who are giving positive messages. There are black men who actually like black women, whether they're overweight or 35 or single moms. There are black men out here who are doing the right thing. But these social media platforms have just gotten out of hand with all of this. Black women is black women is black women is black men is black men, black men, blah, 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 blah. You have to know when to tune out the noise. And we have to not be so quick to jump on the negative bandwagon and fight back. It's not an effective strategy, and it doesn't lead anywhere good. One of the takeaways from this transition for black women, I believe, is that you have to guard your heart. You have to guard your heart. You can't let everybody in, and you can't take everybody seriously. The Bible says, guard your heart with all diligence, because out of the heart comes the issues of life. And that is really true. When you lead with your heart, you leave yourself open for people to take advantage of you. And there are people out there who will take advantage of you. People say about black women, they love hard. We love hard. When you love somebody, you really love somebody. That's why sometimes your baby daddy, you always love him because you started out loving the baby daddy. Even if he was not mature, if he wasn't ready to be a husband or a father, you still love him because you're leading with your heart. You can't put it all on the table because people will grab and grab and grab and take pieces of you and take pieces of you, and then you will end up destroyed. And you still want to be loved. You still want to be cared for. But then you run into somebody who says, well, no, you're not worthy. So you have to learn to guard your heart. You have to learn to be discerning. That's one of the lessons that I think Black women really need to learn. Because when you lead with your heart, when you live your life from your heart rather than from your head, people will take advantage of you, and then people will turn around and judge you for the choices you made. And I think that's a lot of what we saw with Kevin Samuels. There's another takeaway from this transition that I think both Black women and Black men could benefit from. When I was a young teacher in our school district, we had a supervisor that met with us about 3-4 times a year. And she would have these takeaways and best practices in education. But she would begin every meeting with the statement, children don't care what you know until they know you care. How you language with people is very important. When you are teaching young children, they are just now learning that there's a certain way that people should treat them. They're human beings, and they are vulnerable, and they are learning, and there's a certain way that they're supposed to be treated. You're not supposed to just talk to them any kind of way, and they're not supposed to talk to each other just any kind of way. There is something called manners and decorum and compassion. That is something that I think was missing from his message. When you're trying to counsel people or give people relationship advice, you can't build the Black man up by tearing the Black woman down. And that's how many Black women felt. One of my sisters was in a Facebook group, and his name, Kevin Samuels' name, came up in her group. She told me about it one day, and she said, everybody's talking about him. She said, I'm going to go and listen to some of his videos. And she did. And in another conversation, she said, I listened to Kevin Samuels. And she said, and really, he was saying the same things that Daddy said, but his delivery was harsh. And that's the thing. That was the problem. It's like, I'm going to tear you down because I'm telling you the truth. You can tell me the truth without tearing me down and berating me and making me feel like I'm not worth anything because of my age, my size, or my station in life. You can give people practical advice because at the end of the day, the human being has to receive that advice, and your experiences in life and interacting with other people will let you know when you're on the wrong track and when you're on the right track. It doesn't matter what anybody says. What was missing from his message was the love. Black women didn't feel the love. Black men were saying, well, he was saying the same thing to Black men. He was being mean to Black men too. And they're probably right. But here's the thing. Women and men are different. It is entirely possible that a Black man can hear the same message that a Black woman hears and process it differently. Men might react differently to criticism than women do. And so these are some things that we have to learn. And that's how come you have to guard your heart. You can't listen to everybody. You can't go to everybody for advice. You have to know yourself. You have to know what your trigger points are. You have to know what will nourish your spirit and your soul and what will not. Two people can hear the very same message. It could help one person and make the other person mad. I listened to Kevin Samuels when I first came to YouTube in 2017, and he didn't have that harsh message. His message was professionalism, dressing the part, presenting yourself in the most positive light for a man. He was mostly talking to men. But I don't think he got anywhere talking to Black men, trying to teach them how they might improve themselves. I don't think they wanted that message. They wanted to hear how Black women could improve. So he went viral when he told this woman that you're average at best. And the women who were calling into his show were not the ones that were so angry at him. It was the women that were listening to the things that he was saying to the women that called in. Because you didn't see the love. Now, I mean, we can argue that. But they didn't see the love. It doesn't matter if somebody's overweight. It doesn't matter what their age is. It doesn't matter if they have children or they're a single mom with children. Those are human beings. Those are human conditions. So there should be some compassion involved if you're trying to help the person. Children don't care what you know until they know you care. You have to have the love. You can be a strict teacher. You can hold their feet to the fire every day. But as long as they know you love them, as long as they know you're doing it in love, they'll accept it, and you can turn them into blue ribbon students and citizens. And grown people are just the same. You have to begin with love. You have to lead with love if you're trying to help people. I believe that was a component that was missing from his message. Clearly he was intelligent. Clearly he had a lot of knowledge. Clearly he saw a lot of the issues in the black community. But women and men are different and don't always process information the same way. When a woman can feel a man's love, she responds to him differently than when all she gets from him is criticism. And it doesn't just have to be romantic love. There are many kinds of love. Black women needed to see his love for black men and women's relationships, for building and healing relationships. And I don't think they saw that. I regret the passing of Kevin Samuels when I heard that he had been found unresponsive and had gone to Grady Hospital, which is a trauma center. I know about it well. I was hoping that he was going to survive, because I was hoping that he was going to come back and give something of what he was giving in the beginning, or some kind of redemptive message for black people. So I was really hoping for his recovery. I am sorry that he didn't make it. And I will say again, with all this negative talk on social media between black people, you've got to find the love. The love cannot be missing if you're trying to help people. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Share the video. And as always, have a great day.